Anyway, where were we? So as I was saying, with the Elder Scrolls games, leveling up your skills is the only way to really to level up. And I mean, it's a pretty good system when you have a system like Morrowind's, because in Morrowind you have the 10, was it 10 or was it 5? It was, you had 10 skills. You had the 5 minors and the 5 majors, and leveling up any of them would count towards a level. They changed that with Oblivion so that it was you could pick 7 majors, but there were no minors. Like, everything else was a minor, and those didn't help you with leveling. Then in Skyrim, they changed it so that every level was a major, or every ability is a major skill now. It's probably not something I wanted to attack. Although I will shoot it in the eye. I have no clue what just went on over here, but I will definitely take free loot, although I'd much rather have gotten some experience from as well as loot, but free loot is loot nonetheless. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. As I was saying,
Stendar's mercy be upon you, for the vigil has none to spare. Oh! Someone, do something! That's your best, huh? Foos! What are you people doing? No more. I yield.
no. Like, you sent your hired thug after me. You don't then get to yield. I mean, I guess technically you could. I could have let you live, but also fuck that shit. I ain't no pansy. I ain't gonna let some guy who punches me live. Okay, let's drop some of this shit off. £100. Okay. That's not what I meant to give up. I meant to give up the shields.
I'll carve you into pieces.
Pop a potion.
True Lords never back down.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you're just a computer program, right?
Son of a... You're kind.
Whew. That was scary. Okay, now, do I have any other shields? Okay. So, back to what I was saying. In Morrowind, you had a bunch of skills, and you could take 10 of them. And while the system wasn't like it didn't start at 0, if it would have started at 0, in theory, you could have gotten to level 100. And then Morrowind's a slightly bad example there, because you could min-max, or you could just, like, give yourself super enchants. Like, because once you got, like, if your enchanting got to 100, you could basically just give yourself 100 plus of every stat just by enchanting it. But I'm still using that as my example because... Pick this thug up. Because I like the way the system is, like, that's much closer to how the system should be through and through. Compared to, like, in Skyrim, all of your abilities kind of get thrown into a handful of stats. Wait, why are y'all mad at me?
Order of the arm. Stop right there. Smart woman.
What just happened?
There has been talk. Whoa. What's the message?
I'm kind of confused on what law I broke. Like, the guy I killed probably was, like, important, but what law did I break? Or, even better yet, what law did they see me break? Because I didn't see the whole, you now have a bounty on your head pop up. I should probably pay more attention to that.
I ain't done nothing.
Anyway. For the 4th time, anyway. So, in Morrowind, you have 10 abilities, and if that worked out properly, that could get you to a level 100. And it kind of doesn't, because, like, you start out, I believe, like, your your minors start out at like 15, and your
Got some
majors
good
start out at like
pieces out here if you're
25.
looking to protect yourself or deal some damage.
But you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying. I hope. If I don't have Spark, I'm gonna sell whichever one of these sells better, I guess. Because Spark is Spark, it doesn't really matter where I get it. And then those are a bunch of hides that I can turn into leather. Leather sells for 3 and hide sells for 3, so that's kind of a...
Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
Even if I'm going to just sell them, I can at least tan them first. And I believe stripping them would also get me more, because a piece of leather is worth 10, but you get 4 strips per level of leather, and each of those are worth 3. So that's... Nah, screw it. Why not? So, anyway, as I was saying, and in Morrowind it was a much purer form of the system. Once you get to Oblivion, the system starts
claim to be the best
falling down.
blacksmith in Whiterun. Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Blades.
Oh, that's
helmets,
what I keep
pretty
doing. I
much
keep clicking
anything to
outside
suit
of this
your
little
needs.
box. So, leather strips, and she's buying them for 1 apiece. Actually, I think that's actually less than she was going to buy the leather for, but fuck if I care right now. Got any good bows? An orcish dagger might be fun. Ooh, dwarf bow. That's a lot more damage. So we'll buy that, and we'll buy one of these, because I do have enough money to kind of play around.
Alright then.
But yeah, continuing with Oblivion, like with the seven sets, I mean, at maximum you could get to 70, and again, you can't or you couldn't really even then because of the way everything was tiered.
I work for Bellathor at the General Goods Store.
It's actually right where I'm heading.
Bits and baubles for sale.
On the other
Take a good
hand,
look
if we
around,
look at
I'm
the Fallout
sure you'll find
series,
what you're looking for. If not, everything's for sale. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
yeah, you don't really have anything worth buying, do you? Would you? Nicholas's stamina might not be a bad idea. I did actually get rid of my ring, so lockpicking ring probably would be fun too. Bound sword. You have 2 of them. I don't need 2 of them. Okay. Now for mine, let's go down here. Miscellaneous. I got rid of a lot of my stuff, so I'm going to get rid of my gems as well. I know I need them later, but they're not exactly hard to get a hold of. I believe I already have that enchant, but I'll double check before I get rid of any of these. Okay.
Do come back.
So, in Fallout, on the other hand,
Do you get to the Cloud District very often?
if you went through and used console commands to complete all the missions in Fallout, you wouldn't be level 1 because many of those missions do give you experience points. And in all the previous Fallouts, it kind of still, like, they've simplified it in some of the more, or in like 4 as opposed to 3. And I'm not going to talk about like 1 and 2 or the tactics. I'm mostly talking about the 3 most recent Fallout games. I do not know why I came back here. Yeah, there's no way to get there from here. But yeah, we're talking about the RPG versions under Bethesda, just because as a point of compare. Because while the tactics had a very similar leveling up system, they're a tactics game, so they don't quite compare to an RPG. At least not quite as copacetically. It's probably not the right way to use that word, but yeah, so,
Come to Dragon's Reach to discuss the ongoing hostilities.
with
like the rest of the
Morrowind,
Great
for
Warriors.
example. Really? I can't take Spark? Oh, I must already have it then, I guess.
It seems this
Frost damage,
damnable
shock
conflict
damage. I don't have
is
fire
everyone's
damage.
passion for blade. Me, I prefer my books and my spells.
If we were to fortify archery, we can't. We could do damage. If we were to grant shock damage to our bow. Do I not have any items that can take shock damage? No, yeah, I have weapons. Let's give it to my woodcutter's axe, just to kind of make it special. And we have a lesser and a petty. Yeah, let's go ahead and craft that.
It's intriguing the way certain materials are more or less receptive.
Then if we look at our new axe,
The force of lightning, is it not?
I think this will basically have a low end effect, but let's go test it on something. Some wild critter. Anyway, as I was saying, completing all the quests in Fallout will grant you experience points, and a lot of it. In fact, that's... I don't want to say it's most of the experience in the game, but it's probably a good, like, quarter of it. Because, I mean, obviously, an infinite amount of random enemies means an infinite amount of Aw. Like an infinite, yeah, an infinite amount of random things showing up means there's an infinite possibility when it comes to using your, or gaining experience. I wonder if I bring something else back, is that gonna let me? Because I'd really like to loot that, because it had a decent amount of stuff in it. But yeah, so... completing quests in Fallout, not pointless. I mean, it's technically not completely pointless here either, but... kind of forgot those things explode. But in Skyrim, completing quests just gives you opportunities for rewards, as opposed to in Fallout where, yeah, you're rewarded, but more than your rewards, you're getting that experience. And obviously, both of them do have quests for story progression. But... I mean, in Skyrim, like, you have that whole, like, oh, well, why would you take this side quest? Well, if you take this side quest, you'll, like, obviously there's the lore people who want to find out more, but for not us, or not us, like, not lore people, people who aren't just interested in doing everything, why would you take a side quest? Well, side quest guarantees you opportunities to punch things, and punching things increases your skills, which increases your level. In Fallout, on the other hand, side quests give you experience, which will increase your level, and also the opportunities to fight things. Now, I've kind of trailed off a dozen times at least, so I'm going to try to summarize this as best as I can. Also, I do not think I'm going to be able to keep my promise of I'm going to try to keep this into a single video, so I am sorry about having probably 2 or 3 videos of me ranting about this same thing constantly. But whenever you people look at it, in Fallout, the simplest way to say it is you level up in Fallout so that you can increase your stats. Because leveling up in Fallout has no other real benefit. I mean, you get stat increases. I do not know why I said that so loud. But yeah, you get, like, stat increases, which does mean more health, more power, more damage, more stuff. But yeah, those are all stats. On the other hand, in Skyrim, you increase your stats so that you can level up. And leveling up comes with the more health, more magic. In Skyrim's case, more energy. Well, I mean, I guess in all of them's case, more energy, but energy kind of worked differently in the previous game, so it wasn't quite as... Vital's not quite the word I'm looking for. It wasn't as malleable of a function as it is here. I did not want to trigger you. Please don't be triggered. I do want to take these, however. There was a deer somewhere over here. Who am I in combat with? Okay, so if you look at those from the outside, without having any thought, leveling up to increase your stats or increasing your stats to level up kind of seem like, I mean, they're basically the same thing, just backwards. And what I think, like, for the next Elder Scrolls, what they should do is separate the process. Because while it worked great in Morrowind and kind of worked in Oblivion, they broke it in Skyrim. And the reason they broke it in Skyrim is because in Skyrim you have the ability to go, you know what? I'm going to reset some of my levels and allow myself to level up more. So they've basically removed leveling up from, well, the equation in general. Don't run up on me, you dirty rat. Also, I think that's like the first time I've seen a skeever. That's weird. Okay, so, yeah. In Skyrim, like, you can level up infinitely, in theory. There's probably, like, a hard cap to it because of the way the system works, but, like, in theory, you can actually just keep leveling up by resetting your skills. In Fallout, I believe there's a hard cap to your level in Fallout. There might not be, but if there is, it's probably pretty high. But you can just increase your level by leveling up through experience points. I'd rather not fall down there or walk across it. But I have been to Windhelm, so I can just kind of jump over. But yeah, so what I think they should do, as I've said, is like with separating it, you would get this disjoint where you're leveling up your skills, but you're also gaining experience. So that way, like doing quests and stuff, you could gain experience and level up your character. So you get your health boosts and you get your like mana limit boost and your stamina boost. So I'm gonna figure they're gonna keep the simplified system that they've set up here because they really have no reason not to. Like, I do personally much prefer the Morrowind and Oblivion leveling up your attributes when you level up ability or factor. However, I do have to say, like, there is something to, well, am I just going to level up magic, health, or stamina? And it's like, oh, well, if you level up your stamina, you also gain some, like, you gain carry weight. And the other two, mana and or magic and health, you gain, well, more of those, but also a regeneration boost. And you get the regeneration boost with stamina, but you don't really worry too much about stamina's regeneration. Or at least I've never, like, it sucks when you run out, but I mean, stamina doesn't take so long to regenerate that it's a problem.
Come along, no more stops. We need to
What can I do for you?
solitude. Don't bother me, peasant. I've had a long journey and paid too much coin on these gifts to be late to Vittoria's wedding. Indeed, if we ever get
even
there.
going to a wedding at this far-flung end of the Empire anyway. Get away from me, Skyrim trash.
Anyway, and yeah, and basically, I don't want them to implement a system like they have in Fallout, where you do that circle of, oh, well, you've leveled up, now increase your stats. However, what I would like is them to, like, separate them so that I can increase my stats without actually increasing my level. And I know that was probably a long and boring and pointless conversation for most people, but...
Why are you here? Get away from me! Who are you? You're with the Dark Brotherhood, ain't you? I knew it! I knew you'd come for...
I mean, why did...
Think you can steal from me?
That gave me a bounty, didn't it? Well, let's find out who else I can kill. I've yet to beat a Dawn Star, but I have been here. You know what's really bad is in my head I had this like perfect idea before even bringing up that, or like, and I kind of like didn't use it. So I'm gonna just say this real quick, because hey, it might kind of help me not rant about this anymore. But one of the issues, like a lot of people might say, or for example, using Skyrim versus Fallout. If we just pretend that they both were in the same world, right? So the next Fallout is set in Skyrim, and you have the exact same monsters in the exact same positions as you do in Skyrim. If somehow you were able to get a let's say giant, and trap it somewhere where you could continuously pelt it with arrows. And let's say you pelted it with 100 arrows. I did say that previously, oh yeah, you're at level 1, so to get to level 2 you'd need 5, you'd need to hit something 5 times, and then 6 times, and then 7. Well, that comes out to about 100 to get to level 10. And you can check my math if you want, but...
Over here!
That's not what I wanted. I want that. But yeah, so, like, feel free to double check my math, because I'm not going to guarantee my math was right. But the number I came up with was 95. Although I kind of did it in my head, so it could still be a bit off.
You're ready to die today, huh?
But yeah. stop moving. So yeah, I got 95 arrows is what it would take to get from level 1 to level 10 in this hypothetical situation. That also being said, let's say that in Fallout you're able to do basically the same thing.
If you are not here to grant me a good death, then you can leave. Yes, were I to simply lay down and die, it would not please Malakath. Perhaps. Are you sure about this? We shall see. Never should have come here. That your best.
Okay, maybe not. Oh, fuck me. That was bad. Like, I didn't want to just sneak up on, like, say no and then just sneak up on him and cut his throat, but... maybe that would have been for the best. Anyway, so yeah. At the same time, like, you shoot this giant 100 times and it gets you from level 1 to level 2. Like, from player level 1 to player level 2. Well, obviously if you were going to change that over and translate that... let's actually go after someone else first if we can. I don't want to report back in because there's another guy I need to kill, isn't there? Because there's 3 people. Where is this guy? Blech. Okay, so obviously balance-wise, well, what'd be the difference between something that you could hit enough to level up and something you could just shoot once and level up?
Need a ride? Where do you want to go?
Or,
Climb
I
and
shouldn't
back
say
and
shoot
we'll be
once,
off.
but kill once.
Oh, steady on.
So using that same example in Fallout, a giant that would die after 100 shots should be more than enough to level you up. Saying, I mean, from level 1 to 2, a wolf, like, 10 wolves, a wolf should probably take about maybe 5 shots. So, 10 wolves, that's about 50 shots. Not quite the same as 100, but, like, you gotta remember, like, that's average of 50 for those 10 wolves, so... or an average of 5 each for those 10 wolves. So your first couple are going to be much higher than 10, and your last couple are probably going to be much lower. Or, I mean, are going to be much higher than 5. Maybe even, like, in the area of, like, 10. Where your last couple are probably going to be closer to about, maybe 2 or 3. Come on, where'd the dragon go?
You're no match for me.
plants plants down anywhere near undead. Although this is one of the regrettable parts about Skyrim is it is completely possible for good people or people you don't want to die, such as a
Keep your distance.
like merchant or a like quest giver to be failed by a dragon.
I know you.
Yay, I've got a dragon soul. I keep forgetting that they explode after
In all my
death.
years, I've never seen such.
Especially like the summon ones, because like okay, the real ones exploding after death, you
Need
can kind
something?
of be like, oh okay, that makes sense. But the summon ones exploding after death, you're like, but it wasn't even real. And especially because like the summoning, like when they die from summoning, they don't actually die. It's more like their time runs out. Like it just kind of speeds up and sends them back. Well, in most cases, anyway.
I'm really not in the mood. State your business or take your leave. I've a mind to run, so if you'll excuse
I
me.
really shouldn't be talking to these people. But yeah, so leveling wise, it like the difference between leveling up by increasing your stats and leveling up by experience is very minor. And minor to the point where it doesn't really matter.
Wait, I know you. Wait, I know you. There's no mistake. You're a wanted woman, and it's time to pay for your crimes. Well, your bounty is low. All right, get out of my sight. But you're known to me now, scum. Remember that.
Okay, why
I'm
do I have a
busy,
bounty?
And you're bothering me, so go away.
Is that really over a failed pickpocketing of a marked kill outside of a town?
Last mistake. Anybody there? Going to enjoy killing you.
Let's get her out of town. She caught up pretty quickly. That was definitely not something I should have done, but... But yeah, so as I was just kind of finishing up, like when you think about it, I mean, leveling up because you punched 10 wolves versus leveling up because you killed 10 wolves. isn't really much of a difference. And when you, like, if you separate the, well, my fists are stronger because, like, well, Skyrim's method, like, oh, I punch somebody so my fist is stronger, versus the Fallout method of, I leveled up so now my fists are stronger. If you separate that from the leveling, you can still get the Skyrim feel of, well, my fists are getting stronger, while just attributing it to a standard experience pool. You know what? Kill your friend. I probably should have at least joined the Thieves Guild just so I could get that easier bounty removal. And I think it might also be slightly cheaper to remove your bounty through the Thieves Guild, although, hell, as far as I know, it might also actually end up being even more expensive.
I want to be on the right side.
But yeah, so to kind of finish my argument, yeah, so to kind of finish it off, while you're going through, like with the next Elder Scrolls, whatever it be, if the systems are separated, you can kind of get the, well, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this without sounding like I'm insulting anybody.
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm.
But, I mean, just to say it in the simplest way, somebody who only wants to run around and stab people or shoot people with arrows doesn't have to be subjugated to the same leveling scheme as in Skyrim. So, I mean, yes, you can do the reset, but if I want to make a character where I'm just going to stealth around, steal, and shoot people, there is a limit in Skyrim to how many, or to what level I can achieve just doing that. Whereas in Fallout, on the other hand, if I want to make a character who just runs around throwing grenades, and that's all you do is just throw grenades and do grenade damage, you can legitimately do that. I mean, money's going to be an issue, but in theory, you could legitimately make that a build where you just run around and all you do is run up to people and pickpocket grenades into them, or just toss a grenade their way. And you'll continue to level up pretty much indefinite until the end of the game, because each of your kills, each of your accomplishments is a, well, an accomplishment. Where in Skyrim, I mean, I'm running around toasting these deers. Yeah, I get a little bit on my destruction skill, but I don't get shit for killing the deer outside of the experience for the skill I used to kill the deer. And, I mean, that's obviously not a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end that rant there. Just a personal idea. If I was to be involved in any way of the making of it, I mean, they probably have a legitimate reason for not, but I would probably just add a standard, like, to your player level, a standard leveling up, and then you have your stat levels. So whenever you use you have, well, skill levels as well. Okay, I'm in a different hold now.
What's the Jarl going to do about it?
How are we supposed to feel safe in our own homes?
Please, enough already.
I don't care how you're supposed to feel safe in your own homes. Which one of your homes is a shop? Also, I kind of wish I could look at signs and get, like, the pop-up you do. It's a house. This one's a shop, right? Alchemy shop. Let's wait till morn so that everything will be open. But yeah, hell. Maybe I'll do something like that. Like, build a tabletop or something, and...
Oh, do come in. I
like,
hope
yeah,
I have
here's
what you need.
how you level up.
If you need any alchemy supplies, I'll do my best to... Ah, so you're an alchemist, then?
Potions. You got health potions, right? Right? I don't have a lot of health, so minor healing's more than enough. Well, not more than enough, but decent enough.
Take a look.
You got anything I don't? Briarheart. Chicken egg. Don't want to buy anything too expensive. That's funny. Elf ears and elf ears. Nah, screw it, actually. Let's go ahead and just buy whatever I don't have. I do have enough money at the moment. I'm not going to buy Nirnroot. I don't remember if Nirnroot respawns in this game. I didn't buy a fish, and Briarheart, I think, was the only other thing I didn't buy. And... okay, I just bought that Briarheart. And that's everything. Thank you for your time. Now it's time to eat a lot of stuff that's probably not good for me. She actually isn't taking a lot of this either.
That's a fine potion you put together.
Just eat a... Hell, we'll just eat all this. I have no clue if that actually does anything.
I don't get many customers, but that leaves me time to try things out. Take a look. So, you're interested in my potions and ingredients?
No, I'm trying to sell you my potions, lady. I don't really need stamina potions. Like, magic is useful sometimes, but healing potions is kind of the most important one.
Ah, so you're an alchemist then? No. I just often don't have much. Next thing I know, I've used up most of my stock. Huh?
Anyway, so yeah, I've said my piece about that. Now let's go ahead and move on to another subject. It's actually one of the awkward things, because I want to do, like with this series, since it is just me, and I'm
used to be
not
a quiet place, but then
bullshitting with
used to
anybody.
make sense.
I do want to kind of be like, hey, I'm going to talk, and I'm going to try to bring up topics and whatnot. But at the same time, I kind of am...
I'm the best warrior in Morthal. You want me to prove it? I bet 100 gold I can take you, bare-handed. Milk drinker. All right then.
I don't think I can fight this guy yet, but...
Morthal used to be a quiet place. You want me to prove it? I bet just your own two hands. Weapons and magic are out. Now let's see what you've got. Come on, let's see what you're made of.
Son lucky. That's it? That's all you got? You're making me angry. That's all you got. Now that was a punch.
Oof.
You're a real fighter. I like that. You're a real fighter. I like that. You've been a good friend to me. That means something. Morthal used to be a quiet place. Oh well, you know. They haven't made me a guard, even though I've been asking. So I'll take odd jobs. Anything that comes along for now.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard.
Okay, so that was an interesting...
You're different, aren't you? Not like anyone else. Not in Morthal or Skyrim.
Let's see, I need to go somewhere... with a carriage. Preferably somewhere with a carriage where I'm not wanted. And for my final contract, I need to go to Iverstead. Is that a place I can go from you?
I can take you to any of the... Where do you want to go?
Nope.
That's fine.
What's close? I mean, it's up the road from Riften, so... Well, Helen, I was going to try to go to Riften anyway. Let's see if I can remember how to join the Thieves Guild so I can get that bounty reduction.
Sure. I'm a dirty beggar. Why would you want to even speak to me? What brings you to Balamant today? Repair? Smithing's been a... The secret is my forge. Well, it was. Sadly, this forge is dying, and I've used the last... You will? Thank you. 10 pinches of fire salt should give me all I need to bring this forge back to life. People say I'm... Next time one of my shields deflects a flame at... Of course, it would be much easier to check with an alchemist. They occasionally have them for sale.
Working at the Riften Fishery is tough.
Fire
no, yeah, his wife.
The
That's
forge
right.
knows the diff.
He makes it, his wife sells it. And buys it.